Hello YouTube, this is Dudagamon. In this video I'm going to do a reverse benchmark of Pillars of Eternity, and what this reverse benchmark means is that it will not be like my proper benchmark videos. I'm just showing you the game with the on-screen display. The game is VSync at 60 frames per second, and you are going to see the GPU usage and the CPU usage, and this is the reverse benchmark.
Indeed.
Basically, I will just show you how the game runs. This is my GTX 970 system with my Core i5 2500, and the values you see on the top right of the screen refer to this machine. I'm going to show you the 7950 and the rest of my cards. Let's do a quick battle here.
Brave thou Philod believes.
So you can see how the system performs and how the load changes.
Yes?
Forging to battle!
Yes? I shall.
I'm going to lose this battle.
Brave thou Philod believes.
Got him!
Yes?
Let's take some drugs.
Of course. I'm here. Of course. I shall.
Okay. Yes, I know, my friend. Now let's see some usual stats, frame rate and frame times. The frame times are very weird, as you can see. There are a lot of spikes. I'm not sure why. Maybe this is the game sensing something specific. The GPU usage is very low, as you can see. My Core i7 is operating at 4.3 GHz, and the GTX 970 is running at its stock clocks. I forgot to tell you, sorry. Anyway, and this is how the CPU usage is on 4.3 GHz Core i5 2500. It is also quite low, but as you can see, the fourth core jumps to 50% at times. This is the gameplay section. This is MSI Afterburner CPU usage. Okay, I'm going to proceed to the next system now. Okay guys, I'm now on my secondary system, the one with my Core i7 860 and the Radeon 7950. I have already loaded the game. Let me show you the system. You are familiar with it anyway, but Here it is. My Core i7 is running at 4 GHz. As always, I'm not using stock settings for this system anymore, but the graphics card is running at 1 GHz, which is the default clock. As you can see, I have not overclocked any of the graphics cards in this test. So let me go back to the game and I will show you how the game runs. As you can see, it is running at 60 frames per second, but the GPU usage is at almost 50% now.
Of course.
It was much lower on the GTX 970. I will just browse a little around this dungeon and do a couple of battles as I did on the first part of this video. CPU 5 shows around 50%. I'm showing you the highest CPU because it can potentially be a CPU limit.
Attack!
And let's go to the secondary battle, the one that they kick my butt.
I shall.
Brave thou Philot believe. Forth to battle! Charge! Onward!
Yes?
This isn't going as I hoped.
Yes. Of course I would lose. Let's see the graph of MSI Afterburner. Again we see that we have 60 frames per second, stable. The frame times are again very spiky. The GPU usage, as you can see, which is the most important part of these videos, is quite a lot higher than it was on the GTX 970. I'm very curious to see how my other graphics cards run this game. We are going to see this together. I have not seen it yet. The rest of the stuff here. I want the CPU usage though. There we are. CPU usage. Not a great fan of multi-threading, I believe, but again we see one core doing quite a lot of work. This is the part of the game. This usage is from MSI Afterburner. Don't forget that this is a digital recording with my external recorder, so what you will see will be pure performance as always. Okay, time to move on to the next system. I am now on the third part of this video. I am running the game on my Q9550 and my GTX 970. Let me show you here the specs, which I'm pretty sure you know as well. The CPU is running at 4 GHz, but it is always a dick and wants some load. Okay. The GTX 570 is operating at stock clocks, as you can see. Latest firmware here as well. So let me go back into the game and show you. Oh, let me clear MSI Afterburner, and now I can proceed to the game. At first glance, as you can see, the GPU load in this same part is at 48-47%, which is quite strange because
I
this is
shall.
the load that my 7950 had. So as you can understand, if you have one generation gap between two graphics cards and they have the same load for 60 frames per second, you instantly can understand that this game favorites Nvidia graphics cards, at least for now. My 7950 was running on the latest Catalyst anyway, but maybe we need an even newer driver. Not that the game is not playable, but you see that there is a handicap for the AMD cards. You can see the CPU load as well, which is quite higher than my other CPUs. Let's do some battle.
I have them!
Okay, we won this one, but we are going to lose the next. That's okay. I'm just showing some performance here.
Yes?
Let me take some drugs.
I shall.
Brave thou Elite. Attack! That's it!
But
Sure.
I forgot him. Here, what the fuck is... Interesting, I won this battle with only 4 fighters.
Yes? I shall.
Let's battle the queen.
Brave thou Elite.
Yes?
Forth to battle!
I shall.
Yeah, that was unexpected. Anyway, let's see what MSI Afterburner has recorded. Again, we see 60 frames per second, steady. Again, we see the spiking in the frame times. The GPU usage is around 50%, which is about the same load as my 7950 head. And here we can see the CPU usage until this point where the game was running, because now it is recording itself. There we are. It has some very high spikes even for 4 GHz. Okay, and now let's see how the 5850 runs this game. We are now at the fourth part of this video. I have installed my 5850 on the Q9550 machine. I am running the game as you can see. Let me show you the specs. This is the CPU running at 4 GHz as always, and this is the GPU 5850 running at stock clocks as you can see. And let's see now how the game runs on this configuration. Let me unpause it and let's take a quick look at the stats here. Surprisingly, we see that there is only 54% GPU usage. Honestly, I would expect more. I'm not sure why this is happening. It is very close to both the GTX 570 and the 7950, sorry. It is a good thing regarding the fact that this game will be able to run on most systems. Okay, the GPU usage is now 58, almost 60, which is more acceptable and more expectable, I would dare say. Anyway, we'll see the graph later. There is some weird problem with the pointer. It does not obey very well the edges of the screen. You see, I have to try to make the screen scroll. On the left and the right seems to be a problem. Maybe I will have to file a report with AMD.
Onward!
Damn, missed!
That's it!
I'm bleeding.
Let's end this! This isn't going as I hoped.
Aye?
Okay, I am dead again. Now let's see what MSI Afterburner has recorded. We see the familiar 60 frames per second for this game and the spiky frame times. The GPU usage is above 54, 55. Okay, it is quite a bit higher than the 7950, but considering the difference of the two cores, I would expect higher GPU usage here. On the CPU front, things are more interesting because as you can see, the load of the CPU was higher compared to the GTX 570, and this is interesting because they are both using the same CPU at the same frequency for the same frame rate, but still you see that the CPU usage is higher for the AMD driver, for the AMD card, and this is directly connected to the API overhead that the AMD driver always seems to have, and the rest of the stuff here. The GPU memory usage is very low, as you can see. We saw that in the other videos as well. So all in all, this game will be perfectly playable to most systems, I believe. So I hope you guys find this video interesting, and thank you for watching. Take care.